Maybe.
Yay!
Yay, live. It's
Live.
showtime.
Coming at you live. Here I come. There's the
Here I am.
scene.
All right, so let's get this party started.
Rise and
Yay!
shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, I love you. Boop.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. I had to put that up because I love my boobs.
I love my Cassie.
Yes. So we got
The
boobs and
Dorkening
titties
and all its affiliate shows are not intended for anyone.
under the age of.
Not intended for anyone. Period. It's intended for mature audiences, so they put the least mature people as the hosts.
Hinata joined us. For the
Hi,
night.
Yay!
Hinata.
Hi, Kitty.
Pretty kitty.
Hello.
And come over and play with my Miss Ori.
Oh, that would be fun. They
I
could
don't
sit
know.
and like.
Ori's kind of a little shit. She doesn't like other cats.
Oh, she had a brother who didn't like other cats, so she would hide. She would find a nice place to just curl up and hide. She has all these hiding places all over the place. But
Yeah.
hey, everybody, this is a special episode going on. And I want to get the important part of the show done early, and then we're going to sit around and chat. But we have been having a lottery going on for people to sign up for King Sumo, and we have some great prizes going on this lottery. Let's see, what was the full list of things we are giving away are autographed copies of Rob Smales' books Laundry Legs, Spearfinger, Carol of the Bells, and Friends in High Places, estimated about $50. A $50 silverback graphics comic box. John will put together a comic book mystery box after he sends you a questionnaire to determine what kind of comics you're interested in, that it helps him fill out a box personalized for you. You'll get autographed copies of the anthologies that I'm in, More Lore from the Mythos, Volumes 1 and 2, and Nightmare Whispers, Volume 3, What Remains. Those are estimated right now at about $45. We have digital copies of Rasty Slasher's Welcome to Riverside collection, Silence is Crimson 2, and Homecoming, and the Riverside Chronicles, estimated about $15, and as well as an autographed copy of Jenny Elliott. Who's this Jenny Elliott person? Their State of Mind, estimated about $10. So we're going to go ahead and Jenny, do you have the music ready?
Oh,
We'll
2 seconds. My brain was trying to make sure I had everything else ready.
okay.
Okay.
We'll
Where's
use the
Tubular Bells?
should be near the top,
Yeah.
I think. All right, so we are going to go ahead, and there are 5 winners. The different drawings, we want to let the winners pick in the order they are drawn. So if somebody wants to keep track of this for us, I don't think we'll miss it. But we didn't get too many entries this time, guys, and hoping next time we will get some more. The wheel shows weighted amounts of entries, so you'll see some people's names are bigger than others. They participated more than the other people did. So next time, hopefully we'll get more of you joining in. But just to see, this is what we got going on right now. And let's go ahead and spin and see who gets the first choice of prizes. Ooh, all right.
Tom
Dog.
Dog.
It's the
Tom Dog's
Morse
gonna
code.
win. All right. Now I need to. I think I could have probably. You probably don't need to see all of this. I probably could have removed him the other way. But okay, that was Tom Dog winning. So, Tom Dog, you're going to get your first choice. Or is he watching right now?
I don't
Um,
see him in the comments.
okay, well, we'll see who's up next. One, two, three. Jeremy. Jeremy is number 2. So, Jeremy, if you're watching, let us know. Otherwise, we'll be reaching people as soon as the show is over. I think if we did that work? Yes, that worked. Okay. So Tom, then Jeremy, and Jody, you got it. You're pretty weighted here. You got a
Mhm.
lot of stuff going on. So let's go for the next one. Yeah, I kind of thought that was going to happen. Okay, Jody, you are number 3. Um, so, and once again, we'll get emails out to everybody. You can put it on King Sumo and they will put up a winner, but we would be exposing everybody's email addresses if we were to do that live on the show. So we just waited out the wheel for however many entries they had put in. Um, so next we have number 4. And 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Yay,
Laura.
Laura!
All right. Laura, you're number 4. And for our final winner for the evening, down to 3 people, and they're all about even. So 1, 2, 3. Boom.
And Lena.
Lena. All right. So that takes up, those are all of our winners for the evening. And gonna go ahead and we'll make a post about that as soon as we're done with the show tonight. But if any of you guys are watching, uh, just let us know. We have to go through the order of everybody who did it and see what everybody wants, because there are some were books, some were comics. We'll see what people wanted. So, how are you guys doing tonight, everybody?
I am alive.
Well, I I had a very busy day at work as I was inundated with a bunch of stuff in my inbox. And it's one of those days where you just can't wait for retirement. I can't retire until I'm 67, but my hairline retired at 42. So I still have another 20 years and before my hair I can catch up with my hairline.
That's okay. I have like back hair. Like my hair is really. I think I have a huge forehead. I don't know. I always feel that way because my hair's so heavy. If I don't have it pulled back so that you can see my huge forehead, it hangs down flat because it pulls all the weight, pulls it all down.
Yeah, but see, you've got bangs. You can actually cover your forehead if you want to. I don't have that privilege. I don't have that
No, I don't have
capability.
bangs. It's all one length. I I used to think when I was a kid that bangs were something that grew naturally on girls
Hmm.
because I'm a stupid kid at times, and because they'd all have, like the hair that went there. And so I was like, I don't want bangs, so just cut them off. And they were like, what?
I think the maturity age makes us realize that all kids are stupid. There's every kid is stupid,
Yeah,
ourselves included. I was a stupid kid,
I, I was
except
pretty
Jenny.
kept to certain things.
No, Jenny had her own stupid moments as a kid. but
What's
some
your
of it
greatest
was
stupid moment as a kid?
my greatest stupid moment as a kid. I think the one that comes to mind is I don't know, swap between hitting a parked car on my bike. Hi, Rob. And the other one would probably be I don't know, randomly pulling off my pants at the bus line because there's wasps in them. That one felt kind of embarrassing.
Did you say you hit a parked car with your bike?
Yes.
I did too. That was my mom always made fun of me. She's like, "Oh my God." And I had one time when I was riding my bike when the pedal fell off. She was riding with me and my one leg just keeps going trying to like figure out what to do. But I've hit parked cars with my bike too. That's and I wasn't like really little either. An, another bike story. This should we have a stupid kids episode like
I
Sounds like
don't
it.
know.
So one time mom was making a big batch of potato salad and she sent me down to the grocery store. And this is in Hooper, Nebraska, little tiny town, like, a couple hundred people. And she was like, get the biggest thing of mayonnaise that they have. So I was like, okay. And so I ride all the way down. These, your parents, this is back in the day when your parents can still send you, like in the early 80s, when they can say, like, go pick up some cigarettes. And like the clerks just sell them to you and stuff. So they,
Yeah.
keep your tab at the grocery store and your parents just pay for it later. And I get down there and they had the industrial sized ones. And I have my little bike with the little basket that's like this big. And I get and they're like, are you sure you need that one? I'm like, Mom said to get the biggest. And they're like, but are you really sure? I'm like, she's making a lot of potato salad. They're like, okay, I guess. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. And I try to get it back home and I can't carry it and ride the bike at the same time, but I'm
Oh,
trying like mad to like ride my bike and not keep dropping the mayonnaise on the ground. But I lived on a hill and so I had to
Yeah.
get up. And dude, we had mayonnaise for a year. It was like mom was just like, why did you buy that? I'm like, you said to get the biggest one. You have no common sense, child. No, but I can read really well. I can do math. I just
Not
have no idea how to exist.
not as a kid, but as an adult. My stepmother and I were having a conversation on not stepmother, but mother-in-law. My other mother-in-law. I have two. We're having a conversation on the biggest thing of Nutella, and we end up seeing who could get our friend the biggest container of Nutella. And I outdid them because I found out you can buy a gallon of Nutella and had it sent to his house.
Nice.
So yeah,
We need.
so
Uh,
how long would it take you to go through a gallon of Nutella?
there were like here in this house a week.
Wow.
I don't eat
Oh,
it, so I
yeah, I
don't
mean,
My
know.
I've tried
kids
it, and
demolish
I'm not
it.
opposed to it, but it's not my preference either.
I've had it in cookies, and I kind of went, eh, it's all right. It's not my favorite. I
Yeah, I
just
think there's better stuff out there, like
Well,
the
yeah.
marshmallow spread is good stuff.
here's okay. I've always wanted to do this. Has anybody ever tried this before? I want to get like graham crackers and marshmallow spread and then dip them in chocolate and have like in baker's chocolate, so that like you how you make peanut clusters
Mhm.
and then have little like pre-made s'mores. Would that work or would the marshmallow cream get all dry and brittle like it tends to?
I
If you put the marshmallow in it first and then you dip it, mm, it hasn't yet. But then again, they haven't lasted more than 2 weeks.
Well, I would hope that I would eat them all before 2 weeks. So that does work. Are they good?
Yeah, yeah, dude, they're good. And I don't know if you've done the peanut butter fluff version. Peanut butter flush version is putting the peanut butter on one side of it and the marshmallow on the other side, and then you put them together, and then you dip them in the chocolate. Because
Hmm.
yeah, people actually do eat peanut butter and fluff sandwiches in various places, and I'm like, that sounds good. I've never done that.
I I would like to get do you do the because we have people who can't eat peanuts because it gets you know how peanuts get in your teeth, and
Hmm.
a lot of our well now all of our older generation are pretty much gone, but we had been making instead of peanut clusters, we'd get like the Reese's Puff cereal or the
Hmm.
equivalent thereof, and mix that, and then use the baker's chocolate, but you mix peanut butter with it to give it a little bit of extra flavor and make peanut cluster instead of peanut clusters, you make the cereal clusters like that for Christmas.
That's really good, but I also recommend doing it the no bake cookie way. Because have you guys ever made no bake cookie with cereal?
I've never made no bake
I've never been,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had various family members set set up everything like you would for no bake cookies, but use cornflakes instead.
I would think Fruity Pebbles would be better,
I have not tried the fruity pebbles,
or Cocoa
the fruit
Krispies.
and chocolate. The cocoa crispies are good. Regular Rice Krispies are good.
Well, it just makes it more like a Rice Krispie treat, I would think.
Well,
I like
it's mix. Well, not exactly because the mix would be a chocolate peanut butter base.
It's all about the
I'm a
base.
Yes.
snowdrip.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I I'm a big fan of caramel popcorn as well
Ooh.
as popcorn balls, but I hate getting the husks in my teeth. And
Yeah.
it's like you can buy that popcorn that doesn't have them, but it's not really popcorn. And have you seen Ron's looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, I'm watching Hanada in the background.
Oh, okay. She's like, Mom, I'm gonna come sit here now because you're smoking, so I can get in the way of your cigarette and you can ash on my fur. It'll be fun. She bumped. You would have no idea how many times this damn cat will like come over and she'll like hit her tail and knock the cigarette out. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna start the house on fire again. Don't need to have that happening.
Yeah, mine. Ori won't allow me to play guitar. I'll pick up my guitar while I'm watching TV and just start plunking on some scales and stuff. And it's like as soon as she hears the guitar or as soon as she sees me pick it up, that's when she wants to come over and sit with me and get all up in my biz. And it's just like try to play guitar, but no, okay. I guess
I
her needs take precedence over anything I want to do.
when I still had Yeti played guitar, and we'd have one like propped up somewhere, and he'd sit up over on top of it and start plucking the strings at us. It was it was kind of fun. Yeti played guitar. Da-da-da-da.
Jeremiah was a
Yeah,
bullfrog.
I don't have a
Oh,
bufo. We always called those bufos when we were kids. I don't know. Get a
Bufos.
bufo?
I like that.
Get a bufo? Yeah, bufos. So yeah, we're exciting tonight, guys. But we gave away all of our
Yeah, we
shit. We
yeah,
just
we're
decided to
very
hang it out.
exciting. I
Business
can give
before
you
pleasure. Now this is the pleasure. So let's make it pleasurable.
Yeah.
Well,
have
that
it
sounded
in the
So
wrong,
recipe
didn't
book.
it?
Contact me on sweets recipes.
we were dumbass kids.
We were. I did my fair share of dumbass shit.
What were your dumb kid moments?
Do you want it alphabetically, numerically, or by level of importance?
Let's go by level of importance.
Level of importance. Um, the first one I can think of, and which I guess set a precedent for the rest of my life because I'm an idiot. I may have told the story before. I don't know. My family was on vacation in Myrtle Beach. We were staying at this hotel, and the hotel had a swimming pool with a water slide. And I got this brilliant idea to go down the water slide head first for whatever reason. So now here's the thing, because I did this once and I was perfectly fine. But then when you enter, hey, mom, watch into the equation, that's when shit goes awry. So I hit the end of the water slide and I used my arms to like push myself off to hit the water even harder. Of course, dumbass me, now my arms are behind me and not in front of me to feel the bottom of the pool. So rather than my hands making contact with the bottom of the pool, my head made contact with the bottom of the pool
You.
and jacked my neck back and gave me whiplash.
Ow.
I spent the rest of my vacation laid up in the hotel room doing absolutely nothing, looking at the ceiling because I couldn't lower my head to look at anything else. While
Yeah.
my family continued on with their vacation, having a good time without me.
Aw, that's sad.
Well, I was a dumbass kid, you know. You don't want dumbass kid hanging around with you when you're trying to have a good time.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna. Can I interrupt with one? It was a vacation thing in a pool that you reminded me of. This wasn't me being a dumbass. This was my sister being cute. But we went up to South Dakota to go see Mount. Or what is it up there with the president's faces?
Mount Rushmore?
I was gonna say Mount Elsewhere. Oh, yeah, Mount
Mount
Rushmore.
Rushmore.
Wasn't Everest. Okay, so we went up to see Mount Rushmore,
Kilimanjaro.
and my we didn't get we got there late at night. Well, not late at night, but too late to go up and actually see the monument. And nobody realized that you could see it from our hotel. And so we all went and they were like, "Oh, bunch of kids, send them out in the pool, wear them out." And they put lights up on it at night. And my sister just looked up and she was like, "Oh, it's the man's in the moon." And was pointing at it, and she thought we'd just gotten really close to the moon and that there were a lot more than one man on there.
The man's in the moon, not the men in the moon, but the man's in the moon.
Yeah, she was only like 4 or something like that.
I like it.
So, yeah. So, what was your next most horrible experience, Ron? Let us know.
Mine, or you want to go to Jenny? Is it her turn to share?
We're
Jenny,
gonna alternate.
one of the most painful one. You remember the heel that I put in my ghost stories when you go up the road towards to check out uh in the story where I go get my sister. Well, the character goes get her sister from the neighbor's house, and there's a ghost next door the hill. That is an actual place in Saudi Daisy. And remember those pedal cars where the steering handles were on the side?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody would take turns riding in it, and I'd push them down. And I pushed them down, and then I kept coming with the. Well, I kept going on the palms of my hands with my feet in the air as I went down the hill. That was
Road
painful.
rash.
Yeah, that's horrible. I'm sorry. Oh,
Popped in for the drawing, but I'm working on a story that's due tonight, so I'm going to bop on
Bop
out
on
again and
out.
get to work. See you all soon.
happy writing, Ron.
Mwah! And thank you again for the book. I love it.
Does that make him the big bopper?
Yes,
Possibly.
for the night at least. He is a papa.
I need to get back to writing. I seriously, in all honesty, I have not written anything since the book released. and I have I've mentioned it before. I've got all these ideas stuck in my head. I've got at least three that I want to write right now. I've got a whole story that I'm trying to transcribe because, well, you can't see it. That's not working. How does that work? There we go. I wrote the story when I was in college, and for one of my creative writing classes, it's called "When the Clock Stopped." I want to transcribe it so I can use it in the next book for the collection of stories. And I'm I've only got about like 2,000 words of it typed in so far, and this is like a 15-page story. So I don't know how many words just yet, but I mean it's a cool little story. So I need to get that done. I really need to get back to work on The Secret of the Ooze that Jenny knows about. I think she's read a little bit of it, but
Yeah, I've read
she's
a
the
little bit of
only
it. I want
one.
to read more. I can't wait to read more. I enjoyed Rafiki the Tiger. I hope
Yeah.
everybody else does this coming month.
Well, that flash fiction. Did you say you're putting it in the newsletter?
I've put it in the newsletter.
Yeah, put it in the newsletter. That is
I've already
also.
done that.
Well, I haven't seen the newsletter, so I don't know.
That's
Uh,
because you won't see it till tomorrow.
well then, I will have to forward that out to everybody. But that Rafiki short flash fiction, because I think it's only like 1,000 words. I actually want to include that in the next collection of stories as well, just because it's short and it's such a little fun read.
Mhm. That would rock. And you never gave me your mom's email address, so I wasn't able to put her in there.
We're
You
holding
put
a
her in the
meeting now,
story.
honey.
No, put her as in one of the recipients. If she hasn't signed up, I would need her address so I can put her in so I can make sure she gets it for you.
Well, I thought that I gave you her address when you sent her the advanced copy of the book
Oh, you
before.
did, didn't you? I will have to do that. I can do
Dun
that
dun
now.
dun.
Your Jenny has been and I've spent the
Busy.
last 3 days trying to figure out, among other things, how Facebook groups work and why some are more popular than others and what it would take to figure out how to make ours more popular.
Yes, that
And
would be
Gotcha.
a good thing.
the formula is hard because what works for Sky Turner is not what works for like Stephen King and so on and so forth. But CM Stewanich has one heck of a following as well.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, and I really don't pay that much attention to it. Although, I mean, I guess I should, since we started our martial arts organization, and we have a pretty decent group now on Facebook. But I think that it has the potential to grow as we start doing more events, and that's sort of kind of one of the things that's kept me from writing because I switched my focus toward the martial arts seminar that we did in Missouri and tried to make myself
Yeah.
work out or practice a little bit just so I would be ready for it. And then we get done with the seminar, I get back home, and it's just like, okay, I got past the big things. I got through the book release, I got through the seminar, I got through some of the stuff at work I need to get through. My brain just wanted to freaking shut down, and all I wanted to do
Oh,
was like just not do anything, but I still have to go to work, still have to earn a living, and it's like I don't really have the luxury to stop doing all of this stuff because I still have the responsibility. So there's sort of been a downside. Like, I was elated when the book came out.
elite.
I was elated. I was so proud of what we accomplished with the martial arts seminar. And then you're riding that mental high for so long, and now that it's all past, it's just like
Yeah.
you get that crash afterwards. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's not to say that I'm I'm not in a bad place. I'm actually in a really good place with all of the stuff that's been going on. It's just like now I need things to slow down just a little bit so I can sort of regather my energies and get back up and say, okay, now I'm ready to write again. I One of the ideas for short stories that I have, I want to submit for the anthology uh, for the fall with Nightmare Whiskers. because I have a really cool idea for that one, but writers we keep a tight lip on everything that we write until it's time to actually reveal it. So it's like as much as I want to share it, I can't. I haven't even started writing it yet, so I have to wait until I'm at least halfway through it. So then I can start sharing details. But I've got a good idea for it, something that I want to do. But,
So,
so
so
like I'm
Ron,
excited.
do you
What's that?
sing? Do you sing?
Uh, I guess seeing would be debatable. I mean, maybe. It all depends.
Oh, okay. I'm
Why do
just
you ask?
I no, I there's a book that it's a back burner book that I've had going forever because it's a book that I'm putting a soundtrack to.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it's about a musician, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, my friend who was going to be working on that with me passed away a couple of
Mm-hmm.
weeks ago, and he
Sorry to
was the
hear.
musician for it. Thank
Okay.
you. It did get me like I'm working more on it now because like I thought he's younger than I am. We should have had as much time to, you know, to work on. We should have had years to work on it together, and he's not there anymore. But it's gotten me started to write songs, and I've got to like I'm hunting down to see who I can have be my soundtrack person for it. So I'm like, I'll contact different people and see what they think of the songs and see
Well,
if it's
Raz
somebody
says
that
that he can sing. He says that he sang for bands before. I've always been mostly
it's
musician
true.
in bands and not so much uh, front of the band singer. Uh, I don't think that I have a great voice for singing lead, but I can certainly hold my own with harmonizing with other people. My voice is very baritone. It's not quite bass,
Gotcha.
although I kind of wish it were because, I love Typo Negative and Peter Steele had this great bassy voice, which I wish I could match. But yeah, I'm more of a baritone. Like if I were to sing in a barbershop quartet, I'd be the baritone guy, and there'd probably be one guy lower than me to do all of the bass parts.
I
I don't
I
quite have the range that I would like to have. So it really
gotcha.
depends on like what the key is for whether or not it's going to be in or out of my range.
Yeah, I think I'm looking for somebody with about a Jerry Cantrell kind of level going on.
Yeah, his voice is a little slightly higher pitched than mine. I'm more of the Russell Crowe.
Gotcha. Uh, so stupid kid things. I'm gonna go back
Stupid
to that
kid
again.
things.
This is a sad stupid kid thing.
Okay.
Um, back a little bit of background here. When I was younger, my parents got a divorce, and we were living in the house still, my mother and my sister and I, that we had been before. And mom was just having a shitty day. And she'd gone out and was, she was really emotional because of everything going on, but she hid it really well, for us kids. And she'd gone out and she was mowing and she got stung by a bee, which distracted her and caused her to mow over the sugar maple tree.
Hmm.
It was just a sapling, basically, that we had growing in the back, like this big around, or inch and a half or so around. And she got super sad because sugar maples were her favorite tree. So she went inside and she had the bee sting and just all the emotional stuff and lost her tree. And so me, being the dumbass kid that I was, went out and got the tree and got some rope and some tape and like rigged that tree up so it was connected again and still standing up. Like I spent a lot of time getting this tree taped up and tied together and standing up and like went into her room. I'm like, it's okay, mom. I saved the tree. I put it back together again. And she's just like,
I don't think
thank
that's
you,
stupid. I
honey, but
think that's
that
kind
doesn't
of
really
sweet,
work.
actually, that you were trying to help.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, you don't
I
know those kind of things when you're a kid. Yeah.
yeah,
Some
I,
magical tree fairy is going to come along and heal the tree and make it better, and it'll be fine. Or it's going to be like Wolverine and just mend itself and start growing back the way it's supposed to.
We caught my sister in the garage one time, and it looked as if she was over by the thing of rat poison, the little bit, because we actually
Hmm.
had, you had that at that point in time. And mom was freaking out because she was pretty sure she ate some. Did you eat that? No, 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 no. Are you sure, honey? You aren't in trouble. Did you eat any of this though? We just need to know. No, 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 no. What did it taste like? Popcorn.
So she did eat it.
Yes. She
Um,
she
Did she get sick? Did she have to go to the hospital?
no, she didn't eat very much of it, but they went and gave her, I don't know if it was Epicac or whatever to,
Oh, make her throw it up.
yeah, but
Wow.
no, no, no. You kids are scared. Mom was tricksy though. What did it taste like?
I've never done anything like that. I have, it's funny. I mean, I've got stories to match Janie's road rash story, and I've got a story to match, being stung, but I don't have any poison type stories. Although I do have my adopted brother, Caleb. I adopted him. It's, there's no paperwork or anything that says he's my actual brother, but other than just me saying, okay, you're my brother. So I treat him like a younger brother and
Okay.
try to help him out and all that. And Caleb knows this. We've been friends for, I don't know, going on 20 years. But he was a pretty stupid kid too in his younger days. He's in his 30s now, but he was a pretty stupid kid too in his younger days. He is a just phenomenal guitarist. Play anything you want. He's right up there with, I think, some of the legends like Steve Vai and Yngwie Malmsteen and all of that. He's very much thrash and metal type guitarist, but uh, I gave him his first guitar lesson, and he kind of took it from there. Tried to give him life advice and all of that, but he did some stupid things when he was younger, and one of which is he drank a bottle of isopropyl alcohol, thinking that okay, it's pure alcohol, it should get him drunk.
Oh
He's not the first
no.
person to have done that. There have been so many people who think that's a good idea.
He had to be rushed to the hospital and have his stomach pumped, and then he couldn't eat anything for like weeks because of the damage that it did to his throat and his esophagus. And I mean, he's fine now, obviously, but I'm like, Caleb, you idiot.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I won't do that again.
I remember hearing stories about, didn't people think that like if you poured it through a loaf of bread or something like that, somehow it would strain out? And I'm like, why would
No,
bread do that?
I don't think so.
Maybe that was the thing around here where people are like, yeah, you just put it through a loaf of bread. And I'm just like,
I love the
why
kid
don't
to
you
death,
just buy wine or something?
right? Just buy regular alcohol. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Caleb. Uh, he suffered for his art, I suppose you could say. And if you want to hear Caleb's music, he has a couple of demo tracks for his project called Celestials on YouTube. One of the song is called Leviathan. I think he's got like 4 different songs out there under the name Celestials, or Celestials the band. Uh, I'd have to look it up, but yeah, Caleb and the singer for the group is called his name is Cameron Smallwood, but Caleb wrote all the music, put it all together in I guess Pro Tools or Reaper or something, whatever DAW he uses, and it's really good stuff. I think it's up there with a lot of music that's out there today, and
What's the song called?
one I think is called Leviathan. Another one I think might be called. I'd have to look it up. Leviathan is definitely one of them. But yeah, if you find it, I mean, hell, if you want to
Yeah,
play a
I'm
clip,
looking.
go ahead. There's no copyright on it, so uh, I'm sure
Oh,
he'd
cool.
love the shout out. If you want to play a little bit of it, it's not like you're going to get hit with, you know, you can't play this. But yeah, let's see. My stupid kid getting stung story.
Here.
Uh, I was sitting outside the dojo on the windowsill waiting for my instructor to show up, my sensei. I was there a little bit early and he wasn't there yet. So I'm sitting outside waiting for him to show up. And so I'm sitting on the windowsill and he drives up in his truck, steps out, and first thing he says is, Ron, there's a yeah wasp nest.
Oh.
I sat right on top of it and didn't know. It was inside the windowsill and there was a like this little hole that they would fly in and out of. And I mean, I
Oh
must have been sitting
no.
there for like 5, 10 minutes and nothing. But as soon as he drove up and I stood up and I got stung. It stung me right on my wrist. And he's like, I hope you're not allergic. I was like, I don't know. I've never been stung before. But then,
No
I mean,
practice Sunday.
it did swell up and like my whole hand ballooned up and I had this huge welt on my wrist and I had to go through all of class that night with my hand like that.
Oh.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Um,
it
check
did.
your messages and see if I got the right one.
All right.
Um, for our little boop girl, I think the suckiest one she's done is sit down in a hill of ants.
Oh. I love being barefoot, but I cannot walk
Mhm.
outside barefoot because
Yes, that looks like the one.
it,
Yeah.
it well, if there are anthills around, the texture of the anthill stuff just freak I don't like swarms of things. And ants, I saw that movie with the hotel when I was a little kid where they were
Mhm.
like building a hotel and yay, oh look, here's this hotel and it's filling up with this colony of ants and all these people are trapped inside and they end up like breathing through tubes of wallpaper and it's just ugh. I it just freaked me out so bad that I haven't been able to handle ants since. I'm scared of grasshoppers too. And so I had my hair all did I tell you that story before?
Which one?
The grasshopper one
The one
with my
where
hair.
you were going with, I think, your grandmother, and the grasshoppers jumped in your hair as you were riding with her? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a Shriner car for my my Aunt Jackie had Down syndrome, and so she couldn't drive, but my grandfather was a Freemason, and so they had the Shriner cars, and they got her one. And on the farm, she would drive up and down the lane. They had a little turnaround at the mailbox at the end, and corn on either side, middle of summer, grasshoppers are rampant there. And I had my long hair and we drove up and back down and grandma had to take me inside. I was crying. There were grasshoppers all in my hair and they bite and don't let anybody tell you
Mhm.
that they don't because they do. And yeah, it took like half an hour to an hour for grandma to get all of the grass because they were crawling inside of it because it was blowing up, and can't stand grasshoppers to this day. Like, I don't know if it's the same where you guys are at, but if you're driving through Nebraska, if you go off on the country roads during the summers, your windshield is just inundated with tons of grasshoppers. And it's just gross.
That's just some bunch of letters, Ron.
Yeah, I saw that. It didn't copy the whole thing I was trying to get, so I've got it now. I'm sending it to you. I was trying to send you the actual channel for it that has all the videos on it. So there you go. So now, if
Okay.
you want
Yeah.
some oral pleasure for your ears, check out Caleb's stuff.
Okay.
There you go.
There. We have shared it
Check it out
in the comments
now.
for those who wish to find it.
Give the boy a job. Somebody produce his album. Give him lots of money so he can make it the way he wants. I have no doubt that if he were ever to make it into a full-fledged CD, that I have a feeling it would do very well once it catches on and people realize it. The music's good, but anyway, I'm harping on that a lot. But I try to
Yeah,
help Caleb out when I can. So
totally. Promote the shit out of
That's
people. That's what we like
also
to
like
do.
that's what I try to do with you guys.
I know, and we thank you for it, and we are very appreciative.
Yes, we are.
I
My
still
apartment smells
love.
like burning,
Uh-oh.
and I don't know why, because there's nothing on fire. I'm just. I was looking. I'm like, did I drop a cigarette? No. The cat's okay. She's not on fire. There's a candle over there, but nothing else is burning.
I have no idea.
Oh, dip my finger. Yeah, the wax is still there. It is
So
murder.
another stupid child thing, and just a childhood thing that I did to match Ginny's road rash story, and for whatever reason, I feel like I've told this story before as well. Where I used to be heavy into rollerblading, inline skating when I was in my early 20s. And I loved it. I grew up in the mountains of North Carolina. We had this barbecue restaurant that was country bar. They also did like line dancing and they played bluegrass music and stuff like that. They had a full dance floor and stage and all that, but they had great barbecue. And it was called Shadrack's. Uh, Shadrack's had a multi-level parking lot. So you got parking in front of the restaurant, and then there's another parking lot slightly up the hill with more extra parking. And but the hill goes up even past that, and then there's a bypass road at the top of the hill that goes basically around the mountain. So I'm at the top of this hill on the bypass road and looking down at Shadrack's and thinking, I bet I can skate that. Which, in retrospect, I bet I can't. So I'm like, and even in my mind at that time, I'm thinking, this is stupid. I should not do this. I think this is a bad idea. But then my brain says, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You know, it's like, what the hell? So I threw myself down this road, and I'm like in full like speed skater form, where you're all crouched and you're low, so that you don't have a lot of wind resistance, and you're just flying down there. I have no idea how fast I was going, but this hill was steep, so I'm pretty sure it was pretty fast. And I'm thinking all I have to do is turn when I hit the upper level parking lot, and then it will give me enough space where I can slow down. It seemed like a good idea at the time, and at least it should have worked in theory. But there's this Newton's law of physics that says an object in motion will remain in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. Meaning, once you get that forward inertia, it takes something else acting upon it in order to divert it to go into another direction. Let's just say that outside force was not there because my body wanted to go that way, my skates wanted to go that way. And guess which one out?
So, are you doing the twist as you skated?
I tried to turn into the upper level parking lot, and my skates said, nope, we're going this way. So my body went that way, my skates went that way. So, the skates being attached to my feet, I have no choice but to go along with wherever the skates want to go. And they said, we're going this way. So my body's sliding along the rest of the hill. on the pavement and the gravel on the side of the road, and I'm like just doing this, like sliding in the home base kind of thing along, I don't know, 10 yards of pavement until I finally came to a stop at the bottom in front of Shadrack's. Like that's how
Did
far I slid, and I am just covered in road rash.
ooh,
And I've got like little pieces of gravel embedded in my skin. I've got scrapes, my arms are just all bloody, everything. I mean, it really kind of looked like somebody just took a rusty cheese grater and went.
eesh. Did anybody help you?
Nobody was there. It was just me. Nobody was
Like
around.
nobody in the restaurant was there
Oh, it
to
wasn't
like.
open. No, they
Oh,
weren't open
okay.
yet.
Oh,
This was probably mid afternoon, so I don't, maybe like 2 o'clock. So I mean, there was nobody around, nobody there. And so I'm like sitting there at the bottom. I'm like, yeah, that was stupid. But at the same time, I'm like, laughing maniacally, like, like I just avoided death. But then, the adrenaline is rushing like hardcore. I don't feel the pain at first, but I'm assessing myself. I'm looking at all the damage. I'm like, well, shit, now I got to get home. Well, I can't skate home because it hurt too much. But next to Shadrack's, there was another restaurant, a steakhouse called Peddler Steakhouse. It was owned by a guy named Murray Broom, who was also in my karate class. I'm like, well, I'll go see if Murray is at the Peddler and see if he can give me a ride home. So I made myself skate over to the Peddler because it was the closest of the two. And I knock on their back door, and one of their kitchen staff answered. He's looking at me. I said, "Is Murray around?" He just started laughing. He's like, "Yeah, hang on a second." So he went and got Murray. Murray comes out. He's like, "Jesus Christ, Ron." He's like, "What the hell did you do?" I said, "I just skated down that hill behind Shadrack's." He's like, "Oh God." He's like, "All right, I'll have one of my guys give you a ride home." So he did. I got a ride home, but I lived on the second floor, and there was a staircase up to my apartment.
Ow.
Now the pain is kicking in, and
oh,
I can barely walk. I have to go up these stairs. So I'm at the bottom of the stairs, and my girlfriend at the time, this girl named Linda, she comes out, and she's at the top of the stairs. She's like,
wait.
and
How
she
old
was
are
pissed
you
off
again?
because, I think she had plans or something. She wanted to go do something. And she gets pissed off because now she has to stay home and take care of my stupid ass, which, I understand that. No sympathy whatsoever. And I mean, in retrospect, I can look back at it and laugh now because, I mean, Jesus Christ, Ron. Idiot.
How old were you when you did this?
Um, I don't know. Let me think. I was in my early 20s. So
Okay, so this
maybe,
isn't a stupid kid. This is a stupid grown-up kid thing.
yeah, I mean, I was
Okay.
maybe 19, 20, something like that. 20, somewhere around there. Hell, I might not even been old enough to drink at that point. I don't remember. This would have
Oh
been,
wow.
uh, well, no, it was 1993 or 94. So I guess I would have been 21 or 22 at the time.
Okay.
Made
So,
stupid decisions. And it wasn't even influenced by alcohol. I was completely sober and did this on my own. So, yeah.
I keep
hey.
forgetting that you guys are older than I am.
Oh yeah, honey. Jenny's the kid of the bunch.
Well, she'll catch up to us
So
one of these days.
yeah, I always wonder. We have idiots around here that we have, like the 4 or 5 tiered. Some of
Hi,
them get
BB.
even higher. Um, hey Josh. Um, Parking garages, and people will longboard down them, but they shoot straight out into the street in like the middle of downtown.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm always like, why would why would you do that? Because you're gonna die. And you're gonna
Right. Get
like
hit
cause
by a
car
car.
accidents. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, some of the I guess wisdom is gained with age when you start looking back at some of the stupid things that you're done, and you're like, I cannot believe I'm still alive. Like, you know, and so I tend not to be so risky these days and not do things that are potentially dangerous to my body.
Yeah, for me that's walking though. I mean, it is very easy for me to injure myself doing just about anything. I don't even know how I bruise really, really easily, and I don't even know where some of them come from. Like, I'll be going to, take a bath or something, and I'll look and I'll have like bruises that are like 2 or 3 inches long and an inch wide on my leg that are just like almost black, and I'm like, I have no idea how that happened. I don't know where I got that one from, but I'll have at least 3 or 4 large bruises on my body pretty much most of the time.
I had one professional MMA fight, so I've got a 0-1 fight record in Indiana. Uh, it largely started because of TikTok, where a guy was promoting uh, TikTok fights because you get a lot of trolls and like, okay, put up or shut up. So he organized this whole fight for martial artists or fighters or people on TikTok that wanted to fight and test their skills against another TikToker. Uh, they could show up if they really wanted to find out. And so I messaged the guy. I said, put me on the card. He said, well, I've already got all my fighters. I said, I don't care. Put me on as an alternate. So he did. I said, I'm going to be there. I don't care who I fight. Just find me an opponent. Okay. So I did. I went, I showed up. Now, I am just shy when this fight took place. I was about 3 months shy of my 50th birthday. I get there, I meet the promoter, and he was in his 40s and still a professional fighter and in damn good shape, better than me. But, I'm independent. I train in my basement. All I do is
Mhm.
hit a heavy bag, practice some kata, stuff like that. But I like to fight. And I've never done anything on this magnitude before. I've done competition sparring and tournaments, point fighting, but that's not the same as like this is like full on UFC, street fighting cage shit.
Mhm.
These people were out to prove themselves, and some of them had chips on their shoulders. I was not one of them. I was just there because I thought it was fun and I wanted to test myself. And boy, did I. So we get there the night before, and I had the opportunity to spar the guy that was promoting the match. And he's really good, better than me, but he's a professional fighter, and I'm not. I'm this fat, balding, 50 plus guy, that just trains in his basement. But I'm honest about that. And he's a professional fighter. He does this for a living, right?
Yeah.
So he was good, better than me, and I knew he was taking it easy. But I'm like, I do not want to like really piss this guy off or fuck with him because he could totally take me. So the day of the fight comes, I've gotten in a little bit of sparring with Rich, the guy that's promoting the fight, and as it turns out, some of the fighters didn't show up. So Rich calls some of his guys that trained there at the gym that have aspirations, want to be professional fighters as well, just so he can fill out his card to take on some of these guys that did show up.
Right.
So I'm an alternate, which means now I'm going to have a fight. I just don't know who it's going to be against. So he gets all of his weight classes and took care of the TikTok guys that really wanted to fight to make sure that they get to fight each other. And I'm like the last guy. I still don't have an opponent. So he's got another guy that shows up. This dude named Devontae Stroud. Devontae is for better, or let's see, lack of a better word, I think I would describe him as kaiju. He's Godzilla.
Okay.
The dude was 6'4" and 260 pounds and
Ooh.
a trained professional MMA fighter. He wants to make this his career, his life. You know, he's looking at like getting into UFC and stuff like that.
Right.
I am 5'7" and barely 200 pounds. So he's what, about maybe 8 inches taller than me and outweighs me by 60 pounds. And I'm looking at this guy. And so I have the opportunity to talk to him before the match. And he's like, what do you want to do? I said, no ground fighting, keep it stand up. If you want to throw knees, leg kicks, that's fine, whatnot. But I said, I'm going to wear headgear because I care about my cranium. There's a chrome dome up here. And he's like, well, I don't really want to wear headgear. I said, I'm not doing it unless you wear headgear. So he did capitulate to that and he did wear headgear. So finally the fight is called and it's brutal. Devontae is there to prove himself. He wants to be a professional fighter. And he comes at me like a goddamn freight train. It's just bam. I took one hit to the head in the first round and started reassessing my life decisions at that point. Like, maybe this was not a good idea. He knocked me down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. I get knocked down. But I got up again. And so the ref is there and he's giving me the standing 8 count. And I was fine. Like I did that instantaneous self-assessment. Okay, I'm fine. I can keep going. And I did. I went the full 3 rounds with that motherfucker. All
Wow.
6'4", 260 pounds. And he knocked me down 3 times, but he never knocked me out. And I never gave up. I didn't quit. So with about 30 seconds left, I think in the third round, Devontae's got me up and like throwing these knee kicks and I'm blocking like this. And then finally Rich throws in the towel and the referee stops the fight. And at that point, I didn't even know Rich had thrown in the towel until I looked down and I saw it. And I'm thinking, yeah, it wouldn't have changed anything. I mean, I was already losing. It's not like at that point you're going to turn around and knock the guy out. So what's the point of continuing something when, just taking another risk of taking another headshot and maybe getting injured. So it was a good call and completely justifiable. Hell, I probably would have done the same thing, but had he not thrown the towel in, we would have finished out the round, but it still would have been the same outcome. Devontae won, But when I came out of the ring, Rich looks at me and he goes, out of all the fighters, I shit you not, he said this to me. He goes, out of all the fighters that had shown up, you're the only one that could have taken him on.
Nice.
I was like, I will count that as a win. So, I mean, to me, I lost the fight, but it was a moral victory for me. I felt really good about that. And even Devontae, he complimented me as well because I went over to him after the fight, good display of sportsmanship. I was like, you, sir, are a fucking monster. I was like, you are the kind of guy that I would like to train with on a regular basis because you're the kind of guy I need to learn how to fight. And he goes, I don't know. You got me a couple of times. He just flat out acknowledged that I got a couple of hits on him. Like, I don't know. But, of course, this was all being streamed on TikTok and everybody got video of it. I've got video of it on my own YouTube channel. So all 3 rounds are there if you want to watch it.
Cool.
So I did my own reaction video to the fight where I kind of analyzed the fight and I broke it down. Some things that did good, some things that did bad, and basically praising Devontae for his fighting prowess and the fact that he's damn good. I think that he could actually have a career in it if he really wanted to. And I said I'd be his biggest fan if he does. After having fought him myself, and there some things that I felt like I could have learned from. But then after the fight, when all is said and done, and everybody's gone. Then I start having problems with my head. I was afraid to go to sleep because they say if you've got a concussion, the last thing you want to do is go to sleep. You want to try to stay awake. So I'm trying to make myself stay awake just to make sure. Then I went to chiropractor after that. Told her about the fight, and she gets this look on her face like she's horrified. She's like, "If it gets worse, you might need to do X-rays." Like, I want to keep fighting. I want to go again. I want to do another fight or whatnot. She's like, "Not for another year at least. Like, give yourself time to heal." And I didn't get the opportunity to go into another fight, although I still wanted to. But at the same time, now I'm in my 50s and my brain is telling me it's not a good idea because I already know, based on some of the stories I've already told you, I've had whiplash, I've had neck injuries. It's just the
Mhm.
one going down the slide is the one that started it, but I've had other injuries since then. So, God knows how much more my neck has left to take. And I decided, well, maybe the chiropractor's right and I need to slow down. So, uh, I have no aspirations of becoming a professional fighter, but I still like to spar, and I will spar any opportunity I get. But I don't think that as much as I really, 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 really want to, because a fighter gonna fight. As much as I really want to, I know it's not in my best interest to get back into the ring, the same level again. So,
Yeah.
wisdom learned with age, I guess. But
Mhm.
That that's so rough on your body, dude.
I tested myself. I found out what I wanted to find out, and I didn't win the fight, but I earned some respect.
And we are proud of you.
Very.
I I'm gonna go into a cheerleader moment almost because I was a cheerleader. I was a wrestling cheerleader, so it was like pin your man. No, but
I think I downloaded the wrong wrestling movie.
that's awesome though that you did that and that you made it through, you know, and didn't give up. It's bringing to mind the end of for me end of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where it's I tried, damn it, at least I did that.
Hmm.
You gave it your all, and you didn't end up with a lobotomy afterwards. So that's awesome.
Well, you know, I don't think it was for lack of Devontae trying. Some people might have said, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
I
Yeah.
I mean, I got the ice pick, and
Oh, there you
I had this out the other day to get to my milk because it keeps freezing. And so I have all these jugs of frozen milk in my fridge because I have to keep it at a certain temperature so that everything else stays cold. But when you get skim milk, the way that my fridge is set up, it just freezes it because there's next to no fat in it,
go. Hmm.
And yeah, so it's like to add to my cold brew so that I can drink it. I'm like ice pick through the milk carton because but I this is also my surprise front orbital lobotomy through the door
I have a
next to me.
suggestion.
Yes.
Save 4 of your coffee containers and use the hottest water you can get and soap and clean them out. Split your milk, a gallon of the milk before you put it in between the containers, and then take it out just a little bit before you want to make your coffee, and it will melt, and you can add it in, and then you can use it as you go.
I do save these and reuse them. That's why like I this is when it finally gets down to about this level where it's at
Mhm.
right now is when it's just coffee is when I pour it right into there. But otherwise I pour this another one. So yeah, saving the milk ahead of time would be a good idea.
That's
Good
what we've
call.
done.
Thank you. That's because then it'll be slushy too.
Oh,
If
yeah.
nothing else.
I
Fight
don't really do
Granita.
dairy milk much anymore. I do basically almond milk, vanilla almond milk. I love the stuff.
I
Does it
have
freeze?
Does it what?
Does it
Does
freeze?
it freeze?
I have no idea. I've never stuck it in the freezer to find out. It usually doesn't last long enough for me to find out if it freezes.
Ah, okay.
It's great for
Mine does.
protein shakes and cereal and whatnot. And I got some downstairs. I guess I can put it in a freezer and
Well, no, my refrigerator freezes everything so that it keeps my salads crisp and such, and my beverages cold. It just ends up freezing the milk.
I'm lucky if I have enough food in my fridge to even eat, let alone freeze anything.
My milk will freeze in the back of the fridge, so I know whole milk freezes pretty darn well and quick. So it's not just the skim.
Okay. Yeah, I have better luck with non-skim milk, but the skim freezes pretty fast, and then I'm like shaking it, beating up my milk carton, and I'm gonna break it, and then people are gonna be like,
All right, so here's a question.
"Yes,
They have announced a remake of The Crow with Bill Skarsgård
yes."
playing Eric Draven. What do we think about this?
I
Okay,
think Bill Skarsgård as a whole can do a good job. I just don't know about how they write it. That is my thoughts.
I agree with I think Bill Skarsgård can do just about anything. He has really impressed me in every single thing that I have seen him in, which has been primarily horror or supernatural related stuff. Um, I see that they have a very different look for him than they
Hmm.
did in the original, but I also need to admit that I have only seen The Crow like two or three times. So I'm not, because I know a lot of people watch that movie religiously, and I never really got that into it. It just never crossed my mind as something to go hunt down to watch. So it was one of those things where when it was on, I would watch it. But I mean, he gave a totally different depth to Pennywise than Tim Curry did.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And it wasn't like it was a competition. It was like it was two different versions of Pennywise, kind of. So I think we'll get a different feel for Eric Draven in this one than we did in the original. I don't think it's going to be the same.
I don't have a problem with the actor. I worry about the movie because Hollywood and remakes don't a, mix well a good majority of the time, which is true.
Yeah, who's producing it?
Uh,
Do you know?
I heard the name, and people have mixed feelings on uh, the. I think the director or the producer as well. I think that there are certain people I would like to see try to do it. For example, let's say that you were trying to make The Crow into a Bloomhouse movie. The I have a feeling the whole feeling of it would be completely different, just with the way that Bloomhouse does, all of his horror movies. Usually a little bit gory, and sometimes a twist. Uh, let's see who else. Some
Yeah,
people, they have their own signature style. I think somebody that might be good for it, just out of curiosity to see what they would do with it, would be Joss Whedon.
that's fair. Um, let's see. Rupert Sanders is a Swedish actor in. Oh no, not Rupert Sanders is the director. I don't know who he is, but Danny Houston's going to be in it. That sounds cool to me. I really enjoy him. Oh, he did Ghost in the Shell and Snow White and the Huntsman is what Rupert Sanders has done. So He's British and says, "Look, I grew up listening to Joy Division and The Cure. This movie is a bit like a Cure song. The beauty of melancholy."
Well, I think they had like Cure on the original soundtrack, didn't they?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Well, I think that rather than remake The Crow from its original story, I would like to see them do more of a next generation, a new story, new people, new actors. But if you want to bring the character of Eric Draven back with a new actor, then set it up that way. You're bringing him back for another story rather than trying to remake the original.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I've read an anthology of people who wrote it. I mean, when you write the based on, it's basically writing fan fiction,
Mm-hmm.
but
I don't know how I feel about fan fiction.
publishable fan fiction. Well, I mean, and honestly, I write mythos stories, uh, Cthulhu mythos stories, and
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much all Lovecraft fan fiction is what, but huge authors have done. It's a big thing. And it's so it doesn't really count as fan fiction because it was like, hey, I'm giving you guys this world to write in.
Yeah.
So the world was opened up to people. But there's some great stories out there that it could have been based on. But I think like if you had to pick somebody to play Draven again, I don't think you could do much better than Bill Skarsgård. Like there are a couple other people who might look a bit more like he did,
Mm-hmm.
but we aren't basing it off of, like let's find a Brandon Lee lookalike because that would be
Right.
silly. It's let's find an actor who can play that much intensity into a role, and currently he's a big one.
I agree with this. I hope it does not end the same way the original did. He died making the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would suck. But yeah, I mean, I wonder if because when he did the boy in that Stephen King series, he'd lost so much weight for that to be starved that
Thank you.
he's been putting his body through so much for all the different roles that he's played
Mm,
to get completely gaunt and then to get stacked again. And
Yeah, you have to be careful how you do that because it's not healthy for the body overall when you're doing those kind of drastic changes. Uh,
no.
I would hope that they would give him a nutritionist and a coach so that he does it in the healthiest way possible so that he can keep doing that kind of stuff.
yeah, how old is he?
In that picture, he doesn't look that old.
No.
He's 33 years old now.
Okay.
So
So
I
only
think
four
that would be
years
about,
younger than me.
yeah, that'd be about the right age for Eric Draven, I think.
yeah. And yeah, almost like Hemlock Grove is where I first saw him. He was great in that. Um, oh, and he's going to be in Nosferatu coming out soon as well.
Is he playing Count Orlok?
Yes, he is actually.
That I could see him doing. That I think that would be a great role for him.
Yeah, and that will have Willem Dafoe, Nicholas Hoult, Aaron Taylor Johnson, um, some other people Lily Rose Depp. But that looks like a good lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, who's producing that? Um, Robert Eggers.
If they could do with Nosferatu what they did with Bram Stoker's Dracula that Kenneth Branagh did, that would be a good movie.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. So I kind of fangirl out over most of the Skarsgårds though. They're like, Well, I mean, they're all really good. I haven't seen a
Hmm.
Skarsgård act yet and been like, well, that sucked. You know, there's I gotta go back to where he was. Oh, there he did as a producer, or no director. Oh, I gotta go through. It's not showing me. Oh, it was Castle Rock was what the one I was trying to think of.
That was the series, wasn't it? It's based in the fictional town that King created, Castle Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't he like one of the police officers in that show or something?
He was the boy, the one who'd been
Oh
locked up
boy.
in the like they thought he was the devil or something.
Yeah, I started watching the show like a while back. I think it was on Hulu or something, but I never finished it. So no, it's been a
Yeah.
while.
If you want to see a really interesting movie, I found it on YouTube and it was free to watch there last I checked. It's a 20-minute short called Soul of a Man. It's adapted from an Edgar Allan Poe story, and it is directed by Bill Skarsgård and Landon Liborin, the guy who was also in Hemlock Grove with him, and it's starring his father, Stellan Skarsgård, and his brother, Gustav Skarsgård, as well as Sorkin the cat, or Sorkin, who plays Sigmund the cat. But it's um, an older. The father plays a guy who's running a bar and Gustav comes in as His Majesty, and it's implied that he is the devil.
Hmm.
And because all the lights go off, he shows up, and they're having this discussion, and the one guy's like, "Oh yeah, you just." I'm a dark man. My soul has been, and he's trying to build himself up to the devil, who's just like, "You are a waste of my fucking time." And it it's a really good short little flick though, and the best part was I was watching the making of it and they were like totally nervous about how to get this cat to do things because you, herding cats, you can't just make a cat do something. And while they were having while they had the cameras running and stuff, the cat just got bored of sitting where it was and got up and walked exactly the route that they'd wanted it to do because it was the easiest way to go around. And so they got on like without having to do any second or third takes, the cat just accidentally catted its way through perfect choreography. So they got to have that on camera right away. But it's a cool little film. It doesn't look like I mean it was they obviously didn't throw millions behind it, but they had the talent behind it and some money to put into making it look like a nice little polished short flick. But you get three of the Skarsgårds out of it, only two on screen. But I don't know. Gustavo always did good as Floki, I thought, on Vikings, which is where most people probably know him from. And Stellan, of course, was. Am I saying that right? Yeah, Stellan.
Mhm.
Uh, we know as the doctor from Thor. I think
Hmm.
is where
Yeah,
most people are going to remember him from, or the scientist from Thor and the
Yeah.
Avengers movies. But yeah,
I need someone to contact me about turning any one of my short stories in my book here into little movies and that they can include in anthologies for horror movies. That would be great. Someone contact me. Let's make that happen.
I want to see that and Delphine's Bloody Mary story.
I have a Bloody Mary story.
You remember when you were telling us about wanting to make the short film where you know how the person looks in the mirror, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and they get a Bloody Mary,
Oh,
and then the other one says something else like Cosmopolitan, 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 and they get a Cosmopolitan.
okay, yeah. I was like, I had a Bloody Mary story. I don't remember writing.
For me, it'd be sex on the beach, sex on the beach, sex on the beach.
Suddenly, there's sand on the ground, and a woman comes strutting around from the shower.
Yeah, that's a story I can't tell.
That's for Owlite After Dark.
Yeah, we're not quite after dark yet, are we? We're 10:30, so we're not quite after dark yet.
Yeah,
I'm still an hour behind you, so it's only 9:30 here.
Uh,
same.
so what time does Skinamax come on where you live?
I have no idea anymore. I don't have cable.
Just have a computer. Just sit
Yeah,
around.
it's not really any need for Skinamax anymore because it's so readily accessible now.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't need the show. I know I can find plenty of smut authors. I can find something more imaginative.
You can write your own.
Yeah.
If nothing else, there's The Sims and some mods, you know?
Ooh,
Right?
you know that ghost story that you and Raz were trying to work through where the neighbors were telling it?
Yeah.
We had saw something on one of the haunted shows we were watching that we wanted to suggest.
Oh,
The For some odd reason the ground starts shaking, but the neighbors feel it too. It's not just under the house.
hmm.
And the neighbor comes up, knocks on the door. My car just started and went off itself when the uh, earthquake happened. Can you please keep your earthquakes to yourself?
There-
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
I gotta see. Oh God, I'm trying to think. There's a movie about I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna mute myself real quick when I type so you don't hear me like.
All right, so Jenny, as being one of the I think probably the only person at this point who's actually read my book, uh, there is a background story to the short story Dream Home in the book,
Okay.
which I don't think that we covered when we did the unprinted pages,
No, but we
but
do want to hear it.
we do want to hear it. Okay.
Oh, we want to hear it all.
Whoa, now this is the
No, that you know what I mean. Like little snippets about your stories.
this is my
Yeah, that's why
confession.
you need a book group. Yeah, we need that.
uh, that story, Dream Home, and I, I guess now I can go ahead and give spoilers because the book is actually out. So I mean, people can actually read it if they want to, which I kind of hope that they do. But
You
Dream
want to
Home
read it?
is
Trust me.
what's that?
I said you want to read it. Trust me. Even my mother-in-law says you want to read it. I point that way because her house is that way.
I I
That's
have it.
there's a gravestone that
I need to
on
get
that
there.
side. So that story was inspired by if you remember those prank shows that they used to have on like Sci-Fi Network or maybe Comedy Central or whatever, where
Mhm.
they had the hidden cameras and they would set people up in these certain situations, and then all hell would break loose, and just scare the shit out of the person until they finally reveal that one of their friends is pranking them. You
Mhm.
know what I'm talking about? I can't remember the name of the show.
Prank.
Well, I
Uh,
think that there were a couple of
one
different ones.
was pranked. One was candid camera.
Well, yeah, Candid Camera's old school, but those were just harmless little pranks. No, this was more of a you had big crews that would actually come in and set this up,
Punked.
and you had paid actors and whatnot, just for the sole intent and
Yeah.
the purpose of scaring the shit out of one person. So it was basically inspired by those kind of shows. And at the time, I was dating this girl named Katie, and we were living together and talking about the possibility of buying a house. And I thought, that would make a really great setup for a prank because she believes in the paranormal and all that kind of stuff. And if you were to go into a house and then start like hearing shit coming from the basement, and put her in that kind of situation where you're trapped in the kind of situation that the characters in that story encounter, and then just reveal it's all a prank. I was like, well, no, because then she'd probably leave my ass. I'm just like, maybe this is not such a good idea after all. But hell, it'd make a good story. So I ended up writing it into a story rather than actually, pulling it off as a prank. But I
I
would love
found
to see something like that on a prank show. I swear to God, I bet it would scare the shit out of some people.
this would be a good one to set up too. This one, uh, I found the movie I was looking for. It's called The Selling, and they filmed it and it was released in 2011. You can get it if you have a subscription at Peacock. Otherwise, it's also on Plex, Prime Video in some areas. It's not in mine currently. Roku and Tubi, and it's basically a real estate agent gets a haunted house that he has to try to sell, and it's like, there's like a room that opens into like the closet door where it opens in uh
I think that's a
Poltergeist kind of
comedy
thing.
movie, isn't it, though? Like a dark
Yeah,
comedy?
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a dark
I think
comedy,
I
and
saw the ad for that.
yeah, he comes in, he's like, "Okay, we're trying to sell this today, so no bleeding on the walls. The doors need to open to regular places. None of this and none of this and none of that, and then and then
Right.
people start coming to see it because it's haunted, and then the house won't act up for him, and it's just
He
it's a
gives the
really
house a pep talk, and it follows, and then it bites him in the arse.
yeah,
Dude,
it's a great film, just hysterical. It's
Oh,
what
I
is
put that one up there with like
I'll have to watch that one now. That sounds funny.
Little Evil was another one that came out. I'm not sure, but it's kind of a takeoff of The Omen,
Hmm.
and
uh-huh.
it's like it's a cross between it's this guy who it's his stepkid, um, and he's going to like a support group because his stepkid like is evil, but like really evil, like he is the he's possessed. And so he's going through and like trying to decide what to do with his kid. And he's like, going to the support group and it's like, oh I don't know what to do. And they're like, yeah, as step parents, we got to go through all this. But they start showing like they have a picnic where they all show up and there's like one of the other parents' kids are the twins from The Shining, like just standing there holding hands in the dresses and stuff. And so it's like all of their kids are really like evil children from different movies,
Hmm.
but it's got a good sense of humor to it and a little bit of family bonding kind of stuff because it goes from him to like trying to murder his antichrist stepson to bonding with him and stuff.
It kind of makes me think of the movie Stan Helsing.
I haven't seen that one.
Me
Oh,
neither.
it's it's really it's not an indie movie, so it's probably too good a quality for us to watch on Tomb of the Terrible. But
Yeah.
it's it's quite hilarious in just how it takes on uh, a lot of our movie monsters like Freddy and Jason and all of that. Uh, Stan Helsing, the main character, works in a video store, and he's supposed to go to a costume party with a couple of his friends, and supposedly he is a descendant of Van Helsing, but he doesn't believe it and won't acknowledge it. And then strange stuff starts happening where they get trapped in this little town, and all of these monsters start showing up. And like he's supposed to be the hero, but he doesn't want to, believe it or admit that he's the hero type because he's kind of a stoner, kind of an idiot. It's quite funny, and their whole take on Pinhead is just ridiculous, and Chucky. It's quite a stupid movie, but it's worth a watch for the laugh.
I will have to check
Some
that
of it's
out.
a little bit misogynistic, but if you get past some of the more not politically correct humor, it's quite funny.
Yeah, I don't have thin skin. I'm pretty good at that. I I'm not going to be somebody who's like, oh my god, this person said this, so I'm gonna cancel them or ban this or not watch this or something. But
Yeah,
so
I would say check it out. It's worth a watch. It's quite funny.
all
It
right,
is
so
on the list.
we've been on for a little over an hour and a half. We got our giveaways done. I was hoping maybe Tom or somebody'd show up so we could start doing the giveaways. But we will be getting in touch with everybody as soon as we get it. It shouldn't take long because I think we have contacts for all of you that are quite easy to get a hold of you. So if you're one of our winners, and the winners were Tom Dog, Jeremy Courtney, Jody, Laura Gentry, and Lena, and Lena Adams, yeah, and and Jody Cullen. But we will be getting in touch with you guys. We'll get your gifts out ASAP. And yeah, I think we should maybe give it a call up for the night.
Works for me.
Sure. I still
All
have to
right.
get up early and work tomorrow, so
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we're
Links
going
are
to
where
try to do,
links go.
yeah, links up and down. Please like, subscribe, follow, all those different things, everything that's free for you to do to help us out. And we'll be working on doing some more giveaways in the future and hopefully trying to promote them a little bit better so that we can get some more people some stuff and we can get all of our friends out there that we're supporting as well some more likes and follows. So,
yeah, go
yeah,
listen to Caleb's stuff and give him some likes and some follows, and maybe it'll motivate his stupid ass to start making more music.
there
The
you go.
links in the comments for that.
Yep.
All right,
So,
Caleb, I did my job.
you're a good big brother. So, take care, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us and have a good night. We love you.
Happy trails to you.